Hello everyone. Today we will talk about algebraic expressions and polynomials. I have 5 different questions that I want to discuss or go over. The first question is basically asking, is this equation a polynomial? If so, how do you write it in standard form? So we have 5x cubed plus 4x to the 5th minus 8. So, an easy way to know whether this is a polynomial is simply look at, it have x's, so it have variables, it have coefficients, it have exponents. None of the exponents are negative or a square root. They're just regular positive exponents. Therefore, it is a polynomial. So the way to put it in standard form is just simply put it in form by the exponents. So if you look here, you have a 3 and a 5. A 3 and a 5. So you put them in order by the greatest to the least. So it'll be 4x to the 5th plus 5x cubed minus 8. That is how you write this in standard form. Just put it in order based on the exponents from the largest exponent to the smallest exponent. Okay, the next question, it asks you, I used the wrong marker. It asks you the exact same thing. So, you have 3x squared plus 6x to the negative 4th minus 1. Okay. So, basically, you do the exact same thing. But in this case, you can't. Why? Because of this negative 4 right here. Remember I said you cannot have a negative exponent in a polynomial. Therefore, this one is not a polynomial. Okay? Not a polynomial. So you don't even have to worry about writing in standard form. Now I had another question, but I can't remember. I guess I didn't write it down. And I don't have time to go look for it now since I'm recording. So I'm just going to do it based off of this question. And basically, the question was for number 3 was to basically tell what is the degree of this polynomial and what are the terms. So, to find the degree, basically what you do is you just add up the exponents. So, just say that this 8 right here had an x behind it. You can't do that, but I'm just saying, I'm going to erase it. If it had an x behind it, there's, of course, an imaginary 1 here. So, even if it's just an x, you still have to count that when they're asking for your degrees. Even though it don't have an actual exponent present, you know that there's an imaginary 1 there because of the presence of an x. But in this case, this is just your constant, so it doesn't have an x. So we're only going to look at the 4x to the 5th and the 5x cubed. So you're simply just going to add the exponents. You're going to add the 5 and the 3. 5 plus 3 is 8. So your degree of this polynomial is 8. That is an ugly 8, y'all. I'm so sorry. Is 8. Okay. Still ugly, but I don't care. Anyways, then they ask for the terms. So basically, for the terms, you're just simply going to list out everything that's here. Okay? Just list out everything that's here. So your terms are going to be 4x to the 5th, 5x cubed, and negative 8. Those are your terms. Now, if it was to ask you, write out your leading term would actually be 4x to the 5th. Why? Because it has the largest exponent. So when they ask for the leading term, you just simply go by the term that has the highest exponent. And in this case, it is 4x to the 5th. Okay? So I hope that was pretty clear, because now we're going to get into more well, it's not complicated, but complex things. So let's go to number 4. So for number 4, we have 2x cubed plus 4x squared minus 5x plus 5 plus negative 2x cubed plus 2x minus 7. So now what we're doing is we're adding polynomials. This is not hard at all, y'all. I promise y'all it's not. I know it may look long, because it is, but it's not difficult. So basically, you're just going to combine like terms. And you're going to do that by combining with the exponents. This has a cube, so that means you're going to combine this with this. This has a squared. There's no squared over here, so you're just going to leave that alone and bring it down. This has an x, and this has an x. So you're going to combine those, and then you have your two constants. So first we start with the term with the largest exponent. Okay? In this case, we have 2x cubed and negative 2x cubed. So 2 plus negative 2, we know that's going to cancel out, right? So we're not going to have a cube, because those are going to cancel. So now we're left with squared. There's no squared over here, so you just simply bring this down. So you just say 4x squared. And then, so we're through with the squareds. What I like to do is I like to cross them out when I'm through with them, because I don't want to be looking at them and then confuse myself and do it all over again. So I advise you to do that until you start to feel comfortable with doing these. So now we'll go to the x's. So you got a negative 5 plus 2x. Negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. So that'll be negative 3x. And do not add the exponents. Don't say x squared. I know there's two x's there, but because we're dealing with polynomials, we're not adding the exponents. We'll do that later on. I'll show y'all that later on. Okay, so now we're going to do the constants. We have a positive 5 and a negative 7. So 5 plus negative 7 is negative 2. And this is going to be your answer. 4x squared minus 3x minus 2. And make sure, an easy way to check your work is if it is in standard form when you finish adding, and the answer end up being in standard form by itself, then you know you did it right. Now, if you got to put it in standard form, you didn't do something right, and you need to go check your work, because it should be in order from the greatest exponent to the constant. Okay? So now we'll go on to our last question, which is basically the same thing as this one, but it's subtracting. A lot of people get confused with this particular type of problem just because it's subtracting, but honestly, it's not that serious. Okay, so we have 9y cubed plus 8y squared minus y minus 2 minus y squared minus 5y plus 9. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to change the signs, because you can't subtract polynomials. All right, so we're just going to change the signs. So this is going to become a positive, so that means you're going to end up adding anyway. But you can't forget, you got to change all the signs in your second parentheses. Never change the signs in your first parentheses. Always change the signs in your second one. So this is going to become a negative y. This is going to become a positive 5. And this is going to become a negative 9. Okay? So now we can solve like regular, like we did for number 4. So do we have cubes in the second parentheses? No, we do not. So you just bring that down. So that'd be 9y cubed. So you through with your cubes. You have a square. 8 plus negative 1 is 8 plus negative 1 is 7. I'm sorry, I had a brain fart. But 8 plus negative 1 is a positive 7y squared. So you cross those out. So now we go on to y's. So negative y plus a positive 5y gives you a positive 4y. And a negative 2 plus negative 9 gives you negative 11. And that is your answer. Now, as you can see, once again, it's in standard form, 3, 2, 1, constant. So your answer should be 9y cubed plus 7y squared plus 4y minus 11. And this concludes algebraic expressions and polynomials. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to put them in the comments below, and I will try to answer them the best that I can. You all have a wonderful day.